Hey everyone, I am Coach Linda, and this is 100 Days of Purpose. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between intentionality and intention. Let me say that again. We're going to be talking about the difference between intentionality and intention. So there was a study done back in 2003, 2004, and this topic came up, the topic of intention and how it relates to the behavior, right? And so behavior analysts were having discussions about intentions, and what they came up with is that there is a difference between intentionality. And let me just go back and give you a definition of intentionality, okay? So intentionality is the quality of mental dates or mental states, thoughts, beliefs, desires, hopes, all of those things, right? So thoughts, beliefs, desires, hopes that consist in their being directed towards some object or state of affairs. That's intentionality. So someone might say, well, can you give me um an example of it? So let me give you an example of intentionality. Um if I think about a piano, something in my thought picks out a piano, right? So if I say the word, I want to think about a piano, I can see an upright piano, I can see a baby grand piano, I see a piano. I get that picture in my mind. If I talk about cigars, something in my speech will refer, or something that I'm saying will trigger a cigar in my head, right? So it doesn't necessarily, doesn't necessarily mean that you are doing something. It means that what you are doing or what you are saying or what you are experiencing will evoke some type of emotions in you. Okay, that's intentionality. So basically, your thoughts, your words, your desires, your beliefs, your hopes, all of that expresses intentionality. Intention causes you to take action. Okay. So intentionality may start out, but at some point it has to become intention. Okay. And so there's a slight difference. Many of us, we say good intentions will get you nowhere, but I think what we really mean is the intentionality of doing something will get you nowhere. If you make effort, if your intention, and let's look at that meaning, okay? Let me see if I can find um let me see if I can find the quick meaning of intentionality. So intentionality is a noun. Intention is a verb. Okay. So let's see. In my notes, do I have a definition of intentionality? I'm an intention. Let me see, because I got a whole lot of notes here, and I'm not going to talk about all of this. Okay. So intention is the action, right? And I wanted to read it. Let me just do this. Let me do this because this is going to bother me. It's going to bother me. It's going to bother me if I don't do it this way. So intentionality, let me go back to here. Intentionality is the fact of being deliberate or purposeful, right? It's the fact of being. Intention, let me give you this one. Hold on. So intention, or in being intentional, is done on purpose or is done deliberately, the actions that will propel you into accomplishing a goal. So I can think about it. That's intentionality. I can think about it, right? It's just like let me put it to you this way. Maybe this will bring it a little bit closer to home for you. It's just like sexuality and sex, right? So, and I'm not talking about sex as in the act of sex, but I'm talking about if someone says, "What sex are you? Are you male or female?" Right? The sexuality of a person does not always line up with the sex of a person. Does that make sense? So there's a difference there, the sexuality and the sex of the person, right? And so that's the same with intentionality and intention. There is a separation. One causes you to propel yourself into action because your intention is to get something done. It's deliberate and it is uh full of purpose, right? However, then that's why I say take a sip of life. Be strategic, intentional, on purpose, right? But then there is the intentionality, and intentionality makes you feel fluffy. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you can accomplish the world. It's the spark of taking intention, but it's not the actual intention. And so many of us get caught up in the spark, the fantasy, the romance of, I want to be this person that can accomplish whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I want to be able to reach this goal. I want to be able to reach that goal. I want to be able to accomplish something in this life. I want to be able to help my family. I want to be able. And so when you're saying these things, even as I'm saying them in my head, I'm thinking about how does that look? Right? My intentionality is kicking in. My thoughts are being evoked and pictures are forming in my head. Just like I used earlier, if I say the word piano, a piano forms in your head. But are you playing the piano? Are you near the piano? Are you buying the piano? Are you touching the piano? No. So intention would be you go to the piano store and you sit there and you play the piano, you test the piano, you find out information about the piano, you see if the piano is going to be good in your life, or should you get this type of piano. Maybe you want a Yamaha, or maybe you want well, give me another name, Chord, or maybe you want the electric piano, maybe you want the keyboard. There's all kinds of things that intention will cause you to do before you make the purchase of the piano. But the intentionality is just me saying the word, and now you have this picture of a piano, but you don't know what you want to do with the piano. You don't even know if you want the piano. You just have this picture in your head of a piano. And many of us, that's how we live our life. We have this thought, we have this belief, this hope, this desire of what it is that we want to accomplish, but we never deliberately, and it's a deliberate thing because, again, you don't want to think about stuff that you're not going to be passionate about, or you're not going to eventually get some intention to do, right? Many of us, we have these flights of fancy, but they never lead to anything. Intentionality should lead you to take action, should lead you to be intentional about what it is that you're trying to do. So intentionality is the spark of it. You listening to me do 100 days of purpose, right? And you're hearing some things and you're like, you know what, that makes sense to me. maybe I need to start working on me. Maybe I need to start doing something a little bit different. Maybe I need to find out what my purpose is. Maybe I need to sit in that quiet space and do the journaling that Linda says. Maybe I need to ask, what is my pain? What is the solution? Why am I stuck? What's the process? And then what's my first step? Maybe I need to ask myself, what are the things that I naturally gravitate to, and who naturally gravitates to me for those things that I am inclined to do without thought or without any kind of coercion, right? So we think about those things, but are we ready to move on it? Are we ready to do something about it? So good intentionality gets us nowhere. We can think all day long. We can hope and wish and desire all day long. But until we're ready to be intentional on purpose, deliberate on purpose, and until we allow our intentionality to be something that is deliberate and purposeful, that means I'm not thinking just flying by the seat of my pants. I'm not just coming up, oh, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should be Superman. Maybe I could be Wonder Woman. Maybe I could scale that mountain. No. What are the things that are going to spark me into action? What are the things that are going to make me get up off of my couch, stop eating the bonbons and watching the soap operas, and do something? What's going to get me to stop binging on Netflix to get something done? Because I can binge on Netflix and have all kinds of intentional thoughts about all kinds of stuff, because you're watching love movies, you're watching action movies, you're watching dramas and documentaries, and you're having all of this feeding into you, and you're thinking about things, and you're saying, maybe I should do that, oh, I could do that, oh, I want to do that, and you're thinking about it, but are you getting up and doing it? Because if you're not getting up and doing it, your intentionality is going to get you nowhere. Your intentionality has to spark your intention, and your intention has to propel you and catapult you and move you into action. So you can hope and desire, and you can do all of that. You can have thoughts all you want. But until you can get yourself to a point where you're actually doing something, you're not going to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. And that's whether you're a person of purpose or not. That's whether you are doing what you were created to do or not. But it's even wasteful. It's even more wasteful, I should say, if you are doing it and you're not doing it on purpose. You're not doing it in your purpose. You're not living and being who you were created to be. So think about it. Think about this. Think about it. And let those thoughts grow and fester and cause you to say, you know what, daggone it, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make something happen, because I can't stay where I'm at. I have to move. I cannot be stuck anymore. And stop telling yourself that you can't do it, because like Henry Ford said, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. If you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're right. But the sad thing is, there's very little you can't do if you put your mind to it. But that we tell ourselves we don't have the education. We tell ourselves that we can't get it done. We tell ourselves, I'm doing this and I'm walking in this thing and I'm doing this and I'm okay. But what if this is a sign from God that you're going in the wrong direction and it's time for you to turn around and go in the opposite direction. Because if you really want to accomplish the good life, if you really want to experience the good life, you've got to go in a different direction. But you are so stuck on being whatever you think that you're supposed to be that you aren't taking the hint. You're not taking the signs. I am Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. Listen, don't just operate in intentionality. Let that intentionality move you over to intention, and let that intention move you over to doing something about it. Okay? Don't get stuck. Do not get stuck. Don't be a stick stuck in the mud. Just don't do it. Don't be a bump on the log. That was one of my first sermons to my dolls and stuff. I would tell them, I preach a sermon, don't be a bump on the log, right? Let's understand that while we have breath in our body, while we are able to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish, there are people waiting for us to be exactly who we are meant to be. And again, I have to say it, whether you're Christian or not, this applies to you. Whether you believe you have a greater calling or not, this applies to you. So get it done. Get her done, as Larry the Cable Guy says. Get her done. Listen, only those that can see the invisible can achieve the impossible. Dare to be you, and the world will adjust.